Also our industrial partner from Bioplastics Europe. Here today we have with us Paulina Moreau. She's coming from France, and she will be talking about adapting biopolymers for day-to-day. So you will hear what is the experience actually from France regarding the new bio-based biodegradable materials. So Pauline, the floor is yours. You have 25 minutes, so please take your time and yes, you can start.
Okay, so hello everyone. I'm Pauline Moreau from Naturplast, and I will share a bit our experience on biopolymers at my company. Unfortunately, I haven't as much experience as Harry because I arrived in the field of biopolymers only 1 year and a half ago. So basically when the Bioplastics Europe project started, but I have also colleagues that have lots of experience and they can't be here today, but they are supporting all the work in Bioplastics Europe. And now I will share my screen. Okay. It should work now, I think.
Yes, we see it perfectly. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So I will speak about adapting biopolymers for everyday applications. And I will take some examples based on the work we are doing in Bioplastics Europe project. Okay, so first I will just briefly present the company, Naturplast. So as Yelena said, we are a small company in the north of France, in Normandy, and we are 13 people, so it's quite a small company. And there is also a sister company, a subsidiary company that is called Biopolinov, and basically it's our lab for research on bioplastics. We have 4 areas of expertise in the company. First is service, because we can carry some trainings about biopolymers or specific topics related to biopolymers. We also perform technical, economical studies and project engineering for different clients. Our second expertise is research and development, obviously. So we are producing formulations with customized properties to meet the requirements for specific applications. And we also perform characterization, so we test the materials that we produce. And we have equipment to produce at lab scale, but also in semi-industrial scale, because we can provide several hundreds of kilos for compound for some clients. We also have another expertise in byproducts because there are more and more interests to use this type of product. So it's basically some products that won't be used, that will be thrown away, and we try to use it in our materials. But we need to prepare them first, so that we have lots of equipment for grinding or micronization or sieving and everything to remove the water from the byproducts, everything to prepare it to be used for material production. And our last expertise is distribution, because we can provide raw materials and compounds for our clients. So yes, some products are products that we are improving in our lab, but we also can sell bioplastics that are produced in other places in the world. So we have 3 ranges of products. Maybe it will be more clear with this way of presenting. First, we provide bio-based and/or biodegradable bioplastics. So we can provide almost all kinds of bioplastics that are produced in the world. For some, as we discussed before, we have large supply. For others, we have maybe a bit less supply, but we are working on it. Our second range of product is compounds. As I said before, we can produce blend, a mix of biopolymers with specific additives or specific fillers inside. So we produce the compounds. And the third range of product is biocomposites, because we also prepare a blend of polymers with specific byproducts from different industries. We are part of several research and development projects in Europe and also in France. Oh, I'm sorry that there is a noise. I think someone has forgotten to switch off the microphone.
Sorry, Paulina, I thought it's coming from you.
Is it better now?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Good. Please go ahead.
No problem. Okay, so we in Naturplast, we are part of several research and development projects, and one of them is Bioplastics Europe. And now I will speak a bit more about what we have done yet in this project and what we aim to do, because the work is in progress. So our goal in this project is to develop with other partners, because we are not alone, formulation for 3 different applications. The first one is beach toys. So you have some example in the slides. So we decided to get all together to start this development with PHPV. So it's one kind of bioplastic that I will detail after. The second application is soft packaging, for instance, yogurt pot or cream pot. And the base materials that we will use is PBS, and I will speak a bit more about it. The third application is agricultural mulch film, for which we have decided to start to develop formulations based on PLA. So there are different types of modifications that can be required for biopolymers, because we have trying to choose one polymer, but we need to improve it for several properties. So we usually divide it into 3 different kinds of improvements. The first is the optimization of mechanical, thermal, physical properties. So it's linked to the use of the material. During the phase of use, you need to reach specific properties. And with the neat polymer, usually you don't have the requirements, the required properties, so you need to improve it. The second type of improvement is the modulation of shelf life, because the polymer will have, depending on the polymer, you have different end of life scenario, and you have different ability to biodegrade or not. So you can modify the polymer to adapt the shelf life to have a longer shelf life or a shorter shelf life according to the application. And the third type of modification that can be required for biopolymers is to adapt them for specific processing methods. And we talked a bit about that, because when you have one type of polymer, it doesn't mean that you can use it with all type of equipment. So you need to adapt the polymer. Now, if I start with the first application I mentioned before, it's beach toy. We decided to start with PHPV. What is the PHPV? It's a biopolyester, and it's almost fully bio-based. And it has also some biodegradation ability in many environments. Even if the idea isn't to leave the beach toy on the sand at the end of its life. Obviously, it's a good thing to start with a biodegradable materials, because it means that for if someone forgets the toy on the sand, if the material biodegrades, there won't be toxicity for the living creatures that are just near the material. But we have some problem with this material. We have some weakness. One of them is that the PHPV is a very fragile material. So there are risks that sharp elements can hurt people if the toy is broken. So the work that we are doing in Bioplastic Europe is to try to improve the impact resistance of the beach toys made of PHPV. So we are studying different solutions for that. The idea is to reinforce the PHPV. So we try to crystallize it. So I won't go in all the details for now, but the idea is to tidy the chains of polymer. And when you have a polymer with tidied chains, you have better impact resistance for the materials, because all the cracks can't go through the materials. They are blocked by the chains. Other solution is to how to say that, to put some plasticide in the material. You can see it in the second picture, it's the blue element in the scheme. So basically you add something that helps the chain to move one from the other, and when you have some impact, the chain can move one from the other and can absorb the impact, the energy of the impact. And another solution is to add core shell additives to the material. So it's the last picture in the slide. So it's additives that will absorb the energy of the impact when the toy is just dropped on the soil. So you don't modify the PHBV directly, but you add something in it that will absorb the impact. The second application is soft packaging, and we decided to use PBS. So it's also biopolyester, and it's for the moment 50% bio-based, but it's technically possible to have 100% bio-based material, but for the moment it's not available on the market. And this material has some label stating that it can be compostable in industrial facilities up to specific thicknesses. So we have to perform again all the study during the Bioplastic Europe project with our specific object with specific thicknesses. We have to check it again. So we choose PBS, but there are some weaknesses for this material for the application. I put 3 of them. The first weakness is that this material is really flexible material. You can deform it with your hand very easily. So you will have some problem of dimensional stability for the pot. So we need to improve this. The second weakness is that maybe the material isn't enough viscous for the thermoforming process, because when you want to produce the pot, you start with sheets of materials, and after you put the sheets on specific shapes, and if your material is too liquid, you won't manage to keep the final shape of the material. And the third weakness of PBS is that during cooling phase, so when you have just produced your pot, the material, before it's totally cooled, it will remain sticky and very deformable. So we need to improve this point also. So lots of work on PBS. So in Bioplastics Europe, we are working on these different issues. we are trying to increase the stiffness of the material, and we also try to increase the viscosity and the melt strength of PBS. And some solutions that are being investigated are to use mineral filler. So you have an example of some figures we have obtained. So we try different mineral filler, and with one, we obtain an increase of the flexural modulus. And that's a good thing because it means that the final material will keep its final shape and won't deform. And we are also trying to use some processing aids to help to maintain the good melt strength of the materials, for the material not to be too sticky and too deformable. And finally, the last application, it's mulch film, and we will use PLA. It's a biopolyester that is fully bio-based. We talked a bit about it earlier. This material can be composted in industrial facilities up to specific thickness, and the biodegradation in a natural environment, for example, in soil, is very, very limited. It means that for this material, you need to reach a certain temperature to start the biodegradation. So if you put the material in the soil, it will be too long to degrade. So some weaknesses of the PLA for the application, I put two of them. The first is that the PLA itself is too rigid for soft film. We need a film that can be that can be put in rolls, and after that can be put in flat shape. With PLA alone, you have something that is really too much rigid. And you have, as I mentioned before, the degradation that is too slow to obtain something that can be biodegrade in soil easily. So different topics are being studied for this material during Bioplastic Europe project. The first is to increase the elasticity of the material to have something less rigid, while keeping a satisfying melt strength during film production, because you also need your PLA to be able to be put in film shape, and it's quite difficult. And you also need to, we also will start to study the various ways to increase the biodegradation speed of the material. We need to find ways to increase it because it won't degrade in soil. So some solutions that are being investigated is to blend, so to mix the PLA with other flexible biopolymers that will help for the elasticity, but also to use some processing aids that will help to obtain a good melt strength during film production and to prevent the film to stick one layer to another. And in next round, we will also add some shelf life additives. The idea is to try to increase the biodegradation in soil. So you can see that we have 3 different applications with 3 different starting materials. And for each materials, we have a lot of issues concerning optimization of mechanical properties, modulation of shelf life, and adaptation for specific processing methods. So quite a lot of work in progress. That's all for me. Thank you.